You know that feeling when you open up your social media and it's just, well, it's a lot.
Oh, yeah. Endless noise, right? Stuff that doesn't really connect.
Exactly. And that feeling your clicks are being tracked, it gets draining.
It really does. More draining than connecting sometimes. And, the sources we looked at, they show so many people feel that way.
Really? Like it's a common thing.
Yeah, this kind of growing frustration. The sense that these huge platforms, they're just like one size fits all.
Uh-huh. And that doesn't fit everyone.
Exactly. They aren't really serving the needs of smaller groups or individuals with really specific interests.
It's like trying to have a quiet chat in a packed football stadium or something.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
So, okay, today we're going to hit pause on that endless scroll. We're diving into something different.
Oh, what's that?
The idea of actually taking back control of your online space.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, we're talking about maybe building your own private digital spot or joining up with these distributed social networks.
Right, creating something more curated, maybe more personal.
Exactly. Maybe even more meaningful, a different kind of online experience.
And it makes total sense when you look at who's interested in this stuff.
Who is?
Well, the sources point to, like, families who want a really secure, private way to share things.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Or school classes needing special tools just for them, clubs trying to organize events.
Right, or even just groups of friends who want to cut out the noise.
Precisely. They all want something more tailored,
Yeah.
Less of the digital junk drawer feel.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive then is to really get under the skin of these alternatives.
Figure out the benefits, the possibilities.
Yeah, understand what's really involved in stepping outside that mainstream social media bubble.
So what are the real advantages then if you go down this path? Our Eingefigter text source digs into the build your own idea quite a bit.
Okay.
And it highlights two really compelling reasons why smaller private groups might want to do this.
All right, lay it on us. What are these game changers?
Okay, first big one. Absolute control over your community guidelines.
Ah, so you set the rules entirely.
Exactly. Think about how hard it is to moderate content on a platform with millions or billions of users. The rules end up being super broad.
Right, and they don't always fit smaller specific groups. Like, my gaming group has really specific rules about spoilers.
That's a perfect example. You try enforcing that on a massive platform, good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
The source gives examples too, like a family setting up their own network. They can decide exactly what's okay to share, making it genuinely safe for everyone.
Okay.
Or, say, a classic car club discussing technical stuff.
Uh-huh.
Without worrying their posts will get flagged by some algorithm that doesn't get the context.
Right, so you get to shape the whole vibe, the tone, the safety level.
Precisely. You're not fighting against irrelevant stuff or hoping some moderator somewhere understands your niche.
That sounds freeing, actually.
It is. And it's not just about what you post. It's about avoiding the endless ads.
Oh, yeah.
The political arguments that creep into everything.
Yeah.
And, all the misinformation floating around.
Okay, so real control.
Yeah. The source calls it digital sovereignty.
Ooh, I like that.
It really captures it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Your community actually owns its space, builds trust within its own digital walls.
Yeah.
It flips the power dynamic. Who owns the data? Who makes the rules? On big platforms, it's often hidden, driven by profit.
But here, the community decides.
Exactly. Digital sovereignty.
Okay, that's a big one. What's the second advantage of building your own? Custom features.
That's it. Customizable features. Think about mainstream platforms. They're often bloated with stuff you never use.
Totally. I probably use like 20% of the features on most apps.
Right. It's just clutter. But they might lack the specific tools your group actually needs.
Like having a Swiss Army knife with 100 tools when you only need the screwdriver.
Perfect analogy. So the source really stresses the benefit of focusing only on what your group needs.
So like a book club could have a really good forum feature.
Exactly. Or a photo group gets great image sharing and critique tools. Or maybe you need event planning for your hiking club, or secure file sharing for a study group. Building your own means you prioritize those functions.
So the platform actually fits the community, not the other way around.
You got it. That's the shift. Imagine a school class site built just for assignments and calendars.
Yeah, or a sports team app for tracking attendance and training plans. Purpose-built stuff.
It could make things so much smoother, more engaging.
And probably simpler to use, right? Less overwhelming.
Definitely. Cut out the clutter. It's easier, especially for people who aren't super tech savvy. Plus, and this is huge, The possibility of an ad-free experience, no algorithms messing with your feed.
Ah, the chronological feed. It's the mythical creature.
Yeah, right. Imagine seeing things in order or organized how you want.
Wow. Okay, so the power really does flip. The platform serves you, not the other way around, trying to grab your attention.
Precisely. And, the source mentions it's getting easier to do this. Platforms like Linkspreed and Web 4.1 offer tools to make it possible.
Okay, interesting. So that's the whole build your own private space idea. But then the Wikipedia source talks about distributed social networks. How's that different?
Right, that's a key distinction. A distributed network isn't about creating your own little isolated island.
No.
No, it's more like it's a decentralized system. It runs across lots of different independent providers or servers.
Okay.
But the crucial part is users on these different sites, they can still talk to each other seamlessly.
Ah, so it's like a network of connected islands.
An archipelago. That's a fantastic analogy. Yes, exactly. The Wikipedia article uses the term Fediverse.
Fediverse, like federated universe.
Yep, you got it. It describes this whole interconnected world of distributed networks, and they talk to each other using shared open standard protocols.
Okay, protocols, like a common language.
Pretty much. The article mentions these individual connection points are sometimes called pods or nodes or trees.
Pods.
Okay, so think of each pod as its own independent website or community run by different folks.
Right.
But they're all part of the bigger Fediverse because they use these shared protocols. That's the magic interoperability federation. Different sites talking to each other.
So wait, if I sign up on one pod run by, say, a university, I could still connect and talk with someone who signed up on a totally different pod, maybe run by a nonprofit.
Exactly. Even though you join different initial platforms, you're part of the same federated network.
Wow, okay, that's different.
And the software for these networks, often portable. You can run it on different kinds of websites, lowering the barrier to entry.
I see.
The article also points out this isn't the same as those social network aggregation tools.
Like Hootsuite or something.
Yeah, those just help you manage accounts on separate independent networks like Twitter, Facebook, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't connect those networks to each other in the way the Fediverse does.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, big difference. So building your own is private, self-contained, custom rules. Distributed is being part of a bigger web of independent communities that can interact.
You nailed it.
So how do these two ideas connect? Why should we, care about all this?
Well, this is the why it matters part, right?
Yeah.
And both sources touch on this. That control and customization we talked about with building your own,
Yeah.
it ties directly into the user empowerment that's really central to distributed networks.
Okay, connect the dots for me.
Well, both approaches are fundamentally about giving you, the user, more control over your online life.
Right.
The Electronic Frontier Foundation, the EFF, the Wikipedia article mentions they really favor distributed networks.
Why is that?
Because they see it as putting power back in users' hands. Especially, they point out, for activists in places with, heavy internet censorship.
Ah, so for secure, anonymous communication.
Exactly. Offering secure options, choice of providers, ways to organize safely.
Yeah.
It can be vital.
That's a really powerful point. It's not just about convenience. It's potentially about freedom and safety.
Absolutely. And it's not just fringe groups thinking about this. The World Wide Web Consortium, the W3C.
Yeah, they set web standards.
They're actively working on interoperability standards specifically for social web stuff, creating those common languages, those protocols we mentioned earlier.
Like the plumbing for the Fediverse.
Kind of, yeah. Things like OWO for secure logins between services, OpenID, XMPP for chat. These open standards are the foundation.
So it's not just theory. There are actual projects using this stuff.
Oh, definitely. The Wikipedia article lists quite a few.
Yeah.
There's Diaspora, remember Google plus CAC? Kind of like that.
Vaguely.
Friendica, which can be a node and pull in feeds from other places. GNU Social and Mastodon are very Twitter-like.
Okay, Mastodon, I've heard of that one.
Right. Then there's Hubzilla, more of a modular server. Matrix for encrypted chat. Movim uses XMPP. Pump.io is another Twitter-like one.
Wow, that's a lot of options.
It shows the distributed space is actually pretty vibrant, pretty diverse already.
So there's likely a distributed option out there for almost any taste or need.
And that's the real beauty.
Right.
You're not stuck with one giant platform and its rules.
Yeah.
You have choices. You can find or build communities that really match your values.
Okay, so wrapping this up. We started with that feeling of frustration with mainstream social media.
Yeah, the noise, the lack of control.
And we dove into two really interesting alternatives. First, The power of building your very own private digital space, getting that control, customizing features.
Digital sovereignty.
Right. And second, the potential of joining these distributed social networks, the Fediverse, for more user empowerment, but still being connected.
And the big takeaway seems to be that moving away from the mainstream giants, it offers real ways to get back control, boost your privacy, and create online experiences that actually fit you and your communities.
Whether that's a small private group needing its own hub or just you wanting to connect in a more open, user-first way. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Like, take a second and consider what kind of online space would really serve your needs or a community you're in.
Yeah. If you could set the rules, what would they be?
What features are absolutely essential for you, not the ones the platform thinks you want?
That mythical creature again. The feed you actually control.
Bigfoot for social media users, I'm telling you.
So maybe a final thought for you listening. If you're intrigued by this idea, taking back the reins.
Where do you start?
Well, the sources give some pointers. If building your own sounds good, maybe check out platforms like Linkspreed or Web 4.1.
Okay.
Or if joining the Fediverse seems more your style, maybe look into Mastodon or Friendica or one of the others we mentioned. Explore a bit.
It definitely feels like things are shifting or could shift in how we connect online. More potential for user-focused ways of doing things.
It's an exciting space to watch, for sure. And maybe even more exciting to think about actually participating in.